Hey everyone, welcome to Strong Feet Project. This is episode 18. Sorry about there's been a bit of a delay with this episode. I've been sick the last 2 days and I couldn't get it out. But I'm going to do it now, which is going to be on recovery, which is going to be really good. But before I go there, I was going to do a recap of a recap. So UTA was really good. It was about a week and a half ago. It was pouring down rain, cold. But it was a great event otherwise than that. The last 3 or 4 Ks really got to me at the end, which means it just slowed me down. I was on track to hopefully finishing within 4 hours, but I just started getting really sick and legs were buggered pretty much. So yeah, that last 3 or 4 Ks really slowed me down, especially going up further steps. So I ended up doing about 4 hours and 20 minutes. But apart from that, I was really good. Got to see a few other people finish. It was absolutely freezing by the time I finished. And then I went back on Saturday to watch a few people come through, especially on the stair challenge, which was pretty cool. Some of the crazy times people were getting were pretty awesome. They would have had to sprint the whole way up. There's no way I could do that, especially after the 21 Ks leading up to it. But I want to talk a little bit more about recovery. Especially, post UTA recovery or post any recovery. It's not just from event to event, but also, from day to day as well. A lot of people put a lot of emphasis into some of their races, which is what you should do. But you also should be looking at day to day recovery in between sessions. I know, coming from a physio point of view as well, I know a lot of people train every single day, and that's okay. Depends on what you do. But I know a lot of people just smash themselves every single day, and you're not really letting yourself recover in a few different key areas, which I'll go through today as well. But the one thing that you should really know is that everyone recovers differently. No two people recover the same, and it comes down to a few factors. So, how hard you train, what kind of event it is. In regards to event, is it a road event like a road half or the UTA? Does it have hills and stairs like the further steps? What type of running technique you use? But also nutrition, not only on the day, but leading up to it. I'm not just talking about in the morning or the night before. I'm talking about, a few weeks leading into it. If you've carried any injuries into the event as well, which I know a lot of people pulled out of UTA, I would have liked to know the stats on like how many people had pulled out, or how many people had downgraded from like 100 to a 50 or 50 to 22. But yeah, it depends on a number of different factors. But you really got to make sure that you nail the recovery, especially if you do a couple of events or you have a couple lined back to back. Which at the moment, I've got a glowworm in about 2 weeks time, or just over 2 weeks, and I'm doing the trail half for that. So you really got to nail the recoveries. It's a prime opportune time to get sick, and I'm sick at the moment. But whether that's just due to everything else I've got going on in my life, or the fact that I had a Hep A typhoon vaccine on the weekend in prep for Kokoda. So I'm a little bit sick at the moment. That's why I was a bit delayed in getting this episode out. But a lot of people are prone to get sickness after bigger races. Their immune system. So you really got to make sure that you have all your recovery nailed just as much as you do your prep. You really got to listen to your body, especially after a big race like a marathon. Like, you need some time to recover. If you're doing some big runs, you need at least a day or two to really focus on your recovery. A lot of, if you have like the Garmin Forerunner 235, I think it is. After you finish a training session, it'll actually tell you how much time you should allocate approximately to recovery. And, you'd be quite surprised on how much time. Like, if you run for 3 hours or whatever the case is, it might tell you to recover for 18 hours, but a lot of people are just backing up that early next morning and smashing another session. So you really got to listen to your body. The week after you, or even a few days and that week after UTA, I just did a couple of walks, did a couple of strength sessions. I even had a couple of days off in some of the strength sessions as well and eased my way back into it, because I was tired. Your body's telling you if you're tired. So you really gotta really listen to your body, and if you need an extra sleep, whether you have to, you sleep in rather than getting up at 5 o'clock, give it to your body, and then you slowly get back into all your training sessions and back onto your routine and back on board to your whole program and until your next event. there's a few good strategies that you can do. So obviously having a look at what factors you're doing for your races or your training. How hard you're training, how hard you're pushing yourself, what type of training you're doing. Are you incorporating active recovery into your training programs? Are you incorporating strength as well? A big thing that I find with a lot of the runners that I see as a physio is a lot of their strength, that they actually don't have any strength programs or strength exercises into their training programs. If you incorporate 1 or 2 days of strength a week, you effectively cut your injury risk down by half. And especially a lot of the long distance runners that I do see, you're prone to injuries. A lot of people are prone to injuries. So certain people are prone more than others. But you're more likely to get injured depending on what type of training you do and whether you're a long distance or short distance runner. You've got to take that into account. But some of the strategies that I think you should have a look at is in like self-maintenance. So using a foam roller or a massage stick, getting some of your massage balls out, whether it's a spiky ball or lacrosse ball, incorporating yoga and Pilates into your recoveries and active recoveries, and like I said, incorporating some strength work as well, whether it's just 1 or 2 days a week. Something's better than nothing, and it'll help reduce any imbalances in your body. I find a lot with runners, the bottom muscles, the gluteals, are quite weak in a lot of runners, and that's very important. It's essentially the muscle that helps drive you up, hills and sprinting. The glutes are big power muscles. If you're not 100% effective there, well, then it's got to steal it from somewhere, and that's where injuries happen. So you're really looking at incorporating some strength and stability into some of the programs. Now, when you get back into a lot of your running, you don't want to go back in just to doing 20k run straight off the bat. You obviously want to slowly build your way back up again. So doing some shorter runs in the week and then slowly progressing back up to some of your longer ones with a couple of recovery weeks here and there. But the rule is a 10% rule. Effectively you should be increasing your volume or your distance or whatever it is by 10%. If you do more than that, you're gonna be more at risk of injury. Nutrition is a big thing too. Not only for during or just before, but from week to week. If you're eating crap foods all the time, it's gonna affect you. You're gonna feel tired and lethargic, and you won't have as much energy. Or you might find you burn out really easily with some of your events as well. So having a look at having what your nutrition is like, and whether it's enlisting a nutrition or a dietitian, their help and their services to help you do that, then definitely. I find a lot of people, especially runners, they don't fuel properly sometimes. So you really got to look at different foods, especially after events too. You got to replenish your stores. You got to make sure that you recover well with nutrition too. Sleep is a big thing. It releases human growth hormones, which also help with aiding tissue repair and growth. So making sure that you get about 7 or so hours a night uninterrupted sleep. Whether it's getting to bed earlier, whether it's whatever it is, whatever works for you. Obviously, it depends on your own schedule and your own work and family. But some studies do suggest about 7 hours is ideal and optimal. And I read somewhere that you try the sleep challenge, where 30 days, you have a look at getting at least 7 hours sleep and seeing how that makes a big difference in your day-to-day function. But the other thing's cross-training as well. Like I said, I incorporate strength sessions. I do a bit of home Pilates and rolling out and stuff like that at home. But you can also do things like swimming or cycling or anything like that to try and get a bit of cross-training in, just so you get a little bit of break from running, and you're not putting as much load on your body too. So swimming and cycling will be ideal for that on the joints. But there's heaps of different things involved with recovery. You can use things like ice baths, and there's some research out. There's not a great deal of research that I've found on things like ice baths. Same thing with compression garments. I actually wrote an article for the Search for Hope magazine, not last year, I think the year before, and there's not a lot of great research to do with performance enhancements or recovery. There is a little tiny bit of research supporting it for recovery, but a lot of the time it's if you feel like you're getting a benefit out of it, then you do it. Like I wear long tights, skin tight long pants to bed. If I've done a really, like a UTA for example, and sometimes I'll wear them to bed, 2 nights in a row or something like that, and I feel like I'm a little bit better. Keeps me warm, and it keeps a little bit of compression. But like I said, there's not a great deal of research supporting it, so you don't have to go out there and spend a couple $100s on skins or whatever, whatever type of, compression garments, I should say. But yeah, if you want to check out the article, it's on my business page with Spy Health and Rehab. I've got it posted up there as well, somewhere on the blogs and articles kind of section of the website. But either way, there's different things involved with the recovery. It's just going to make sure that you nail it just as well as your preparation and that your actual, you're nailing your event. So, hope that helps a little bit. I know there's all different things involved with training and recovery and all that kind of stuff, but it's just to benefit yourself really. So I'll be putting some of those, or all those factors into place for my own recovery, given that I've got Glowworm Trail Half Marathon coming up, just to make sure I'm in the best possible way. Obviously at the moment I'm sick, so I'm just going to be listening to my body, so I'll make sure I'm not going to get worse. Because high bouts of high intensity exercises, frequent bouts can actually reduce your immune function, which can also lead to obviously more chances of getting sick. So I'm listening to myself. You listen to yourself. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll keep you up to date with what's been going on. Cheers, guys. Bye.